Hey, it's Spencer, and in this tutorial, we're going to take a look at how to design and print your own Christmas cards from Canva. So whether you want to just design them for free and then share them on social media, or use Canva Pro and even have Canva print and ship your Christmas cards, you can do that all through the Canva app. Now, what we're on right here is the Christmas cards templates page at Canva. And so there's like over 20,000 templates here. You can get here with the link in the description. That's an affiliate link, so you can actually try Canva Pro for free. And there's also, I believe, some kind of promo right now where you can use a code to get 15% off any printed items. So I'll put that code in the description as well, so you can use that too. Now, what we have here is a ton of different Christmas card templates, all shapes and sizes. If you see the little crown icon in the lower right-hand corner, that's a Canva Pro template, so it's like a premium template. Like I said, if you don't have Canva Pro, you can actually try it for free if you just want to kind of try it and be able to use all the features and then print these cards and use the templates that are pro. But if it doesn't have that little crown, like this one here, it's not a pro template or premium template. So it's actually a free template that you can use and go in and replace the imagery. And so as you're looking at all these templates, now there's tons of them. You can actually filter through them just by clicking this little filter button. And if you go down here, you can filter through format if there's a certain format you want to send. So like maybe it's just a landscape 4x6. They say 6x4. I say 4x6. And maybe you want a minimalist style. And so we could select both those and apply those filters, and we'll get more of a minimal style. So we're going to scroll down here a little bit and kind of find one maybe that we want to use. We can hover over them to see the different pages if they have multiple pages. This Merry and Bright one looks pretty cool. This Merry Christmas one over here is a pretty good one. You might have to find a photo that kind of fits over to the left-hand side. But I'm going to go ahead and click on this one. This is a pro one, but the pro premium Christmas card designs are probably going to be sometimes a little bit better or easier to work with if you have Canva Pro. So when you click on it, it'll show you more like that option. So there's a lot here that we could do. In fact, maybe I'll click on this one. I really like this Polaroid look. And so I found another one just based on that first design. And this is the one I'm going to start with. We click this purple button, we can customize the template. And so that'll take us in here. Now, if you haven't signed up for Canva, it'll probably take you through that process as well. All you need is an email. If you just follow through that link in the description, it'll take you to all the Christmas card templates and then, have you sign up and stuff too. But from here, we have the Canva editor. So if this is your first time designing anything, on the left-hand side, you have a lot of your tools and different items. So your design is kind of the templates that we sort of just went through. So we don't need to mess with the design tab, but we have elements. So all kinds of different elements that we can add. We could search through the elements. Like we could just search for Christmas and press enter. And we're going to find different graphics, different photos, different frames. Frames are basically what you can put an image into. So this Polaroid over here would be a frame that an image is inserted into. But if you wanted to add any special elements, you could, if we want to add this little reindeer in here, we could add him kind of poking up in front of the Polaroid. And all you have to do is just kind of click and drag those elements out of there. And then you can drag them in here and put them wherever you want. Some of the elements have that little crown icon, same thing, they're Canva Pro. So you'll find that there are some free elements if you want to just use Canva for free and then print it on your own, or use the print feature on Canva. Or there's a ton of pro elements if you just try it for free, or if you already have Canva Pro. Then we can add text elements. There's already text on these templates, so we don't really need to do that. If you do want to upload some of your own imagery, we can do upload files right here. So for instance, I'm going to click upload files, and maybe you want to upload the photo of your family that you're going to use on this Christmas card. So I'm going to look through some of these photos. This is a pretty funny one right here. We'll see if it fits into the frame or not. And I can just kind of click upload once I find that file and navigate on your computer to find it. So we're going to click upload, and it's going to basically upload that photo into all of our media here in the upload section. So once we have that photo, It's actually as easy as clicking and dragging to place that photo either in our design anywhere, or when we hover over another photo that's in a frame, we can actually replace the photo just like that. And so when we let go, now we have our new photo inside of that frame. We can see here that we can click on our different elements. And so we can click on text and we can edit text. We can move it around if we want to. When you click on any sort of element, you'll get this little toolbar that pops up. So you can do some different things here, but also at the top, we have more tools that might pop up depending on what we click on. So this one, since we have a text element clicked, we actually come in here and we can do things like changing the font. So if we wanted to, we could change the font to this one here. You know, you can kind of search through different fonts and find one that looks good that you want to use. And then you can change the size of the font or your text, the color of it, and you can do bold and you can adjust centering and all this kind of stuff. There's even effects that you can do. So if we click effects, we could come over here and we could make it a neon effect or something just by clicking that and then dragging on some of the different options that pop up when you do some of those effects. And so as we click, I don't really want that neon, so we'll click none on that. But yeah, as you click through some of these elements, you'll see different things pop up here at the top that allow you to do some of this editing. So we have a group here, which is a group of elements. So if you've clicked on one element and then you hold your shift key and click on another, it's going to select them both. And then we can actually group those together. And when we have a couple elements that are grouped together, they kind of act as one. So if we use our corners here to scale items up and down, both those items will scale up in the group. If we just kind of click and drag to move around, both those items will move around. So it's an easy way to kind of keep items together. So for instance, over here, we've got this Polaroid. There's some elements here that are grouped together. It might be the square that is the white part of the Polaroid and then the image itself. So what we could do is ungroup it to kind of edit the elements separately. We can also double click in here. And if we wanted to, we could just move around our photo that easily. So once we double click on a photo, we're kind of in a crop mode. So if you want to crop the photo, there's a lot of cropping options that will pop up here on the left-hand side. But also here, just on the photo, you can grab the corners to kind of scale it up and down. You can drag it around inside of the area of the frame. You can even edit that frame crop as well pretty easily. And so if you ever make a mistake or something, like you accidentally edit something that you didn't mean to, in this crop mode, you can always come down here and hit cancel. Otherwise, if you're kind of making a mistake doing something out here, you can actually just use these little arrows right here, which are undo and redo. And so you can undo changes if you make kind of an accidental change. So for instance, if I cropped too much and then clicked off of the image, which takes me out of that crop mode, this doesn't look right. So I could just click that undo button and it brings it back to where I was. Sometimes that kind of stuff happens. So anyway, what we can do is double click on that image to then crop and resize the image within that little frame. We can also ungroup these elements so that we can select our image. And you'll notice that up here at the top, our image actually has some options as well. So we can actually adjust the transparency here if we want to. We can do some corner rounding if we want to. You can even add a border to your image. And then there's an edit button. So I'm sure a lot of you would want to edit your images a little bit. And once we click that edit button, we're going to get a lot of different filters, effects, and different things that pop up on the left-hand side. Now, some of these are Canva Pro, like I said, so some of the different editing features do require Canva Pro. But you can come through here and see if there's anything here that you would want. Most of you are probably looking at maybe some of the filters. You can click See All to see more filters and kind of adjust the way that your photo looks if you want to. And at the bottom, you're going to find like black and white options. So if you want some black and white photos, it's really quick and easy to kind of just click on one of these different filters to apply it to your photo. And we can scale the intensity of that up and down. So if you just want it kind of a little bit black and white, you can do that as well. And so you can add these filters in to change the look of your photo. You can add some effects to your photo, like there's a duotone effect, which is, going to give you pretty interesting results depending on the card that you have and what you've chosen. And you can adjust what the shadows and highlights color are. There's lots of different effects you can kind of play around with here. And like I said, if you make some mistakes, it's okay. You can click that undo button to get your photo back to where it was. Now, one more thing to show you that's not just effects. If we go back to that edit tab, at the very top here, it's kind of hard to see, it's easy to miss, but there's an adjust option here. And when we click on that, we get all these different options to adjust our photo. So if your photo's a little dark, you could maybe up the brightness some. You could up the contrast if you want some more contrast in your photo. You can adjust highlights, shadows, the whites, the blacks. You can adjust even the white balance of your image. So like the temperature of it, whether it's a little bit colder or cooler or warmer tones. And then you can also select whether or not you're applying these adjustments to the foreground or the background, which Canva will automatically kind of determine based on what your photo looks like. So the foreground imagery here is likely to be our people that are sitting in the front. And so we could actually, turn up the brightness of just our people, that kind of thing. And so just your family, you can edit the photo so that the background might be a little bit darker than the people that are standing in the front of the photo. And so that's kind of some options that you have here, which is pretty cool. You can also click auto adjust, which kind of auto adjusts your image. And so I think we had that turned on. I just turned it off, but now the colors have been adjusted a little bit. And so there's different things here. You can scroll down and kind of adjust some of the things like clarity and sharpness in case your image is a little blurry. So you have a lot of different image adjustment options there. You have a lot of different text options here. And there's even different text elements, back to the elements. If we go to all, and we go to Christmas again, actually, no, we're going to go to text. And so we click on text, and I'm going to type in Christmas and see if anything shows up here. There's some Christmas fonts that show up really quick. And then there's actually some font combinations. So if there's some combinations here that you would like to change this to, you can actually click on this and it will add it to your design. And then you can kind of scale that up and down and completely change how this card looks if you want. We've got a group here, so we can move this around. And these elements are actually grouped together already. Ideally, you would go ahead and delete what you don't want in your design, and then you would add in something like that font pairing. So when we click and select something, we just click this delete trash can, or we can press the delete key on our keyboard. Then we could bring this group around, and we could do the same thing here. So we've kind of just completely changed what that looks like and changed the wording. You can type whatever you want in here. If we want to bring that red back, we could highlight just by clicking and dragging the bigger words here, and we can go to text color, and we could click on the red and kind of bring the red back in. And so just like that, you can completely adjust and change the card. And if you don't like what you did, you can always back it up and get back to, where your card started. And so you can change that, or you can just kind of experiment if you want to. Now, I think that these letters here maybe are a little bit bold. So I'm going to go find that font. So I'm going to go back to this actually, and I can highlight and come up here and change the font back to something. Maybe this is the other font that it was used before. So you'll have document fonts that are basically the fonts that are used inside of this card. The other thing is there's a background element here. And so when you click on the background, there's just kind of an image back there. And you can go to edit that image, which will give you those same options that we had before, like to edit images. If you double click on it, you can actually change the crop of that background. And so you can adjust how that background image is positioned inside of your whole card. So the 4x6 of your card. And then you can also change that background photo if you want. And so if we were to go to elements and go to Christmas. I'm going to do Christmas background and see what pops up. I'm going to go to photos. And so you can see how we have kind of a dark background here. We could take this green one, for instance, and we could click and drag onto the background, and we could just change our background like that. And so now we have a green background that's still Christmas themed instead of the last one that we had in there. And so I can undo that because I like the first one better, but I'm just showing you how you can change every element on your Christmas card. And so this is the Christmas card. Some of them come with multiple pages. This one is just one, so it's almost like a postcard. There are actually print options through Canva, so you can have Canva print this card for you and send it to you. If we go to the upper right-hand corner, we have a share button. When we click on that share button, we can share this with other people. We can also download the Christmas card. So we can hit the download button and you can choose your file type. If you're going to print it somewhere else on your own, you can just download this PDF print of your design, and that will be good enough for you to go print. If you want just to share it on social media, I would suggest JPEG, which is JPG, and you could click on that and then just make sure that the size is what you want, and then also that you kind of put that quality all the way up too. Some of these options are also Canva Pro when it comes to downloading, like the different file options that you have. So you might need to go ahead and sign up for that free trial to get some of these options if you are downloading it. But it's pretty easy just to click download right there, and you're going to download that JPEG. However, if we go back and we click that share button, we can see print with Canva. And so when we click print with Canva, you can actually do printed products with Canva. So if we want to do something like a card, we could search for card, and we don't want a business card. So we would kind of scroll down past that. And here's like landscape postcards. So we could click on that option right there. And you do need to be able to open new tabs. So I'm going to have to allow pop-ups, it looks like. So let me click on that tab. Okay. That's what should pop up, or that's where it should take you, is this new tab. And now on this new tab, the design itself was kind of resized a little bit. On the right-hand side here, we can adjust the actual size of it. So in this case, I didn't click on one that was 4x6. Our design was 4x6. So it readjusted our design a little bit to then fit the card size that I clicked on as far as the printed card. And so in here, you can actually still come in and make your edits if you want to. Maybe you didn't like how small it made certain things. So we can shift click and group this together again and kind of scale things up and make sure things are the way that you want them, right? And so if it made any changes that you didn't like, you can make some adjustments to that. But then on the right-hand side here, we have a preview of what your design is going to look like when it's printed. And you kind of see some of these different screenshots. Has a little envelope that it comes with as well, or that's the back side actually. And then it shows the front side, it shows the back side. If you want to, you can actually design a back side as well and just have another page in here. So if we look at the very bottom, it says add page, and we could add another page, and we could design the back side of our card as well. And so if you wanted to start with that design, instead of adding a page, what you would want to do is come up here to the upper right-hand corner of your page and click duplicate page. So that's going to duplicate that original page so that you can come in here and maybe redesign it if you want to. You could delete elements out completely, and maybe we're just going to put this reindeer right in the middle here, and we wish you a Merry Christmas here, kind of with the reindeer, right? And so what you could do then is on this back, you could click it and select the page that you want to print on the back. So we could select page 2 to be the back of the card, and you can see it's printed double-sided now. So if you wanted to do that, you could design the front and back of your card. Then, it asks you what size do you want it, and then what kind of paper. So you have some paper options like premium, deluxe. What kind of finish? Do you want a glossy card, or is this a matte finish, uncoated? Do you want the corners to be square, or do you want them to be rounded? Each of these choices will affect the price, but depending on what you want, you can just make your selections right here. And then you can choose how many postcards you get. So like if you want 50 postcards or 100 postcards, anything like that. So maybe you just want 50 to send out to like friends and family. And then you can include the envelopes in your order as well. So that's where the envelopes are. And then from there, it kind of gives you some information and your subtotal at the bottom here, which is not a bad price for 50 custom made postcards. And then you can click continue and it'll kind of get you ready to print. So it might tell you that there's some issues here and there. Like for instance, if we're going to do rounded corners, it's going to show you kind of this, we call it a bleed area in the design world, which is basically where your background runs off the side of your card so that they can print and cut it. And your background will actually go all the way to the edge. So there's some things like that that you can fix here. We'll see what it says about the issue that there is. I think there shouldn't really be an issue. As far as I can tell, it might be talking about how like an element is too close to the edge. I'm going to click automatically fix. Okay, so it moved the card away. So I'm going to click undo to kind of undo that fix. It's basically saying this might be too close to the edge, so you should move that. Personally, for me, you don't have to fix this, I don't believe. And so yeah, this is where it tells you what's too close to the edge. In my opinion, I don't mind if like part of that gets cut off. I think it's going to be fine. Plus the actual graphic, if you can see here, doesn't actually go to the edge. So I don't need to fix that. So some things you might fix and some things you don't have to fix. You can do a final check, so you can download the PDF and make sure you look at it and make sure everything is good on it. And then you can add it to your cart and check out. So we can just click that checkout button to basically go through the checkout process and actually choose our delivery method and get these cards sent to us. And so you can see down here, there's different delivery methods. And if you add your address in there, you're going to see the actual delivery time. And, there's regular like economy, but all the way up to express. So you can get these pretty quick if you're doing this right now. And Christmas is coming up, or you're watching this video in the future at some point, whatever delivery method you need. And down here at the bottom is that coupon code. I'm pretty sure that the coupon code is print gift 15. We're going to try to apply that. It might not be that. Yes, it is. Okay, so that's 15% off. I'll put that coupon code in the description down below. You guys can use that to get 15% off of your order of any printed pieces here on Canva. From there, you're just going to enter in your address and everything and payment info and place the order. That's how you can design Christmas cards. Hopefully I covered enough for anyone who's a beginner on the design side. Depending on the Christmas card you pick, you're going to be pulling in lots of images of your family and putting them on there, or maybe just one image of your family to replace. So we covered replacing images. We covered how to edit text, how to completely change text, how to add little elements, and of course, how to find the templates in the first place that you want to use for your Christmas card. And then there's lots of print options here. You can just download the files if you want to, post them on social media. You can download the print files. So use that PDF print option to download a print ready file if you want to take it somewhere else to get it printed or print it at home. And then you can actually have Canva print your Christmas cards as well and send them to you just by really just going through that process, which is really easy, and selecting how many you want and the finish and everything and how quickly you want to get them. So that is a tutorial on how to design Christmas cards and how to print Christmas cards in Canva. So if you have any questions, just put them in the comments down below. Hopefully I covered enough to get you to this point where you can have those Christmas cards ready to go and sent out to friends and family. Thanks, you guys. I'll see you in the next one.